Hello everyone, it's me Varus and we're back with another video. In this video I'll be giving you an update on Hurricane Melissa, severe weather outlook, and the big pre-Halloween storm we have going on in the eastern portion of the US. It will be a relatively shorter video, but we'll be covering everything you know for basically the rest of this week. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. Now let's get right into it. So I'm going to talk about some special notes at the end, but right now we'll start out with our typical National Weather Service alerts and indices map pulled up, and honestly looking pretty interesting. So in the west, not as much going on. I mean, in the past few days, the west is what's made the weather interesting, as we've had lots of rain and mountain snows. That has since diminished as that storm is now moving into the east, as it pulls in some Gulf moisture and Atlantic moisture, and you already see that with these coastal flood advisories and overall flood warnings posted along portions of the mid-Atlantic coast, including portions of I-95 getting pretty close. So it's going to be a pretty impactful storm. We'll work our way west to east though. Other notable stuff, I mean, in Montana we have some wind advisories, and then way south and east we have frost advisories and freeze warnings for much of portions of the central U.S. Frost advisories extend into Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas. Freeze warning on the western side of that, where we have it all the way up into Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and then some also in New Mexico and Arkansas. So this is some really deep cold air that is still able to push west behind this low pressure system. So I'd expect some of this to continue to expand in the next few days as it continues to move eastward. And then speaking of the east, there's your flood advisories and all the storm-related indices. Further south, you have some special weather statements, likely with flooding and water concerns as well. So let's first quickly switch gears over to Hurricane Melissa. And I mean, a lot has changed since kind of my last video. Well, last video was winter forecast. The video before, you saw a Category 5 monster about landfall into Jamaica. It has done that. It has also landfalled into Cuba. And it also has made some landfalls, or at least getting close to landfalls in some of these Bahamas, the islands of the Bahamas. And so it definitely looks much different. There are still some what's still really impressive is the consistent deep convection it has had. I mean, I have not seen Melissa, despite it's obviously weakened, some 90 mile per hour category 2 hurricane right now. So it is definitely weakened, but it's still so impressive on how it is really firing off convection right now. Also, when I meant Category 2, I think I meant Category 1 hurricane, sorry. It's a strong Cat 1 getting into Cat 2. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Cat 2. But either way, it's just firing off very healthy convection, especially on the eastern side, which is actually a little more interesting as kind of in the past few days it's been more westerly based. Since then, it has shifted more easterly. But you got your low through here. Things that are affecting it is definitely some shear. As it pushes north, there's some shear kind of going on. It still has its raggedy outflow on the south side, meaning still kind of almost like a buzzsaw hurricane. You also see kind of some dry air getting intercirculated into the core of the storm. But overall, Melissa's core has been intact and really strong throughout, but there is some dry air getting into there. And on the western side, just some good outflow and banding. It still looks like a relatively healthy hurricane. I do think it will strengthen a bit more in the next day at least. Not anything rapid or not anything insane, but it will eventually weaken as against the cooler waters, more shear. And I mean, dry air is already kind of trying to get into there. So here's National Hurricane Center's outlook on it. 90 mile per hour max sustained, 970 millibar storm. Northerlies at 60 miles per hour, so it's really picked up speed since the last update. Since the last few updates, remember, it was crawling from anywhere 3 to 5 miles per hour in the past several days. Now it's going to accelerate by 2 p.m. Thursday. It'll be well away from the Bahamas. And then getting early into Friday morning, or you could say midnight Friday, is when it'll make its closest approach to Bermuda. Bermuda is outside the cone, but it's going to be a pretty broad storm, and so you'll still at least feel tropical impacts. Hurricane impacts are likely, though, as you are under hurricane warnings. It'll be interesting if it does track closer along the eastern side of the cone, and then it really picks up speed, becomes extratropical by Newfoundland, and it makes its way up into the Arctic. So that's about it on Melissa. everyone's been so hyper focused on Melissa. It looks like we get a break after her. So, Storm Prediction Center. This is associated. This is switching gears back to the Eastern Coast storm. So our low's kind of tucked in here. It'll kind of ride this way. There's a warm sector through here. Okay, 95 is kind of the track of this storm. So warm sector will be kind of divided. Okay, so south is the warm sector. You got it gonna push through here. You got a marginal risk because of the instability, the lift. Okay, even a tornado threat. 2% tornado threat, 5% wind. Hail threat, not really existing with a dynamic storm like this. But you never know. But mainly tornado wind, definitely make sure to be aware of. Day 2 does look to kind of get further up into the mid-Atlantic. This is when the storm will be further north. Cold front will eventually drape through. So you will still be in a warm sector temporarily as it tracks north. And so this will bring warmer, moist conditions for portions of the mid-Atlantic. Tornado threat is there, 2%. Wind threat as well. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it does get what a stutter. What if it does get upgraded in this light risk? I would not be surprised. Some people talking about that. I don't know for sure. If I had to guess, I think it hugs kind of through here. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the marginal gets expanded. Either way, some severe weather is possible. Nothing too crazy, but definitely something that's eye-opening. So we can take a look at some high-resolution models, such as the NAM 3 kilometer. This is 3 p.m., so we'll go to Eastern Standard Time right now, 10 p.m. So right now you have the storm. It already looks pretty dynamic. You got the low right here. There is a pocket of 540 millibar temperatures aloft through here. Now that's going to be interesting as the low traverses north and kind of swings back as it heads this way. Okay, this what we call pocket would get over the mountains, and so you could get some mountain snows. Okay, I would not be surprised to get some mountain snows kind of up into Tennessee, West Virginia, and Virginia. Don't know if we'll get as south as into Georgia, North Carolina, but tucked into kind of like the, I don't really know. I mean, the Appalachians, obviously, but I'd say tucked into that blue, we could see some, mainly on the highest elevations. Maybe the NAM will show it or not. We'll see. But already, as of right now, that precipitation shield is expanding up north. Okay, this is where it is right now. Going to continue pushing northward overnight. So this is a very dynamic storm again because it is causing its 540. There's like one of the lines, and you can see definitely pretty chilly, 45 degrees and some cold 840s. So this is where you see this is 9 a.m. So when you're waking up tomorrow morning, here is your I don't know why I went Tyler. Here is your cold front right through. I'm gonna highlight in pink or hot red. Right here is where your cold front is, and so your low is still honestly tucked way west out here. Some bottles kind of had it along over here, but I guess NAM kind of shifted this way, and this makes more sense either way. But it probably will still track. It's gonna be west of the 95, but that does lead to that warm sector kind of coming in through here. Sorry if I did say it was gonna track along the 95. My bad. I was reading National Weather Service wording from Mount Holly the other day. It said the low would try to track along the 95. Looks like it's more west now. But again, that makes sense. So you'll have your warmer sector through here, and temperatures could really get maybe even up into the 70s. We'll have to see. It's gonna be interesting to watch those temperatures before the cold front comes and crashes it down. And so you have your severe weather through here. This is 9 a.m. There's your low. I mean, you can also see your 540 right here. Kind of hard to see right in there in western or eastern Kentucky. So watch these mountains. I mean, you never know if some snow could pop up in the higher elevations for sure. Nothing outside of the higher elevations. And there you have your severe weather. Okay, very, very strong. There's your line right here. Here's Melissa getting kicked out by this cold front, believe it or not. So this is what's going to guide it out closer towards Bermuda than at the sea. Here's your low kind of tucked in here, still making its way north and west. This is kind of lunchtime, noon tomorrow. And then by the time we get in the evening time, it's lifting up in the New York City, Boston area. Kind of starts to wrap up in the east and further down towards Philly. This is 5 a.m. October 31st. Here we can go a frame or two ahead. So morning of Halloween, there's your mountain snows right there. Okay, there's your mountain snows closer, more focused in West Virginia, because there's your cold front that allows this cooler air to spill down, create some sort of northwest flow. I mean, we're not in winter, so nothing insane, but rain for lower elevations, snow for higher elevations, and this could really kickstart some of the first snows in the Appalachian. Only rainy part of your day for the Northeast, for New England at least, would be the morning of Halloween. Everything seems to get out by 3 p.m. October 31st, when schools are getting out. Still could be some drizzly spots. I would say, since it's low, so dynamic. I mean, this is 981 on the NAM. Don't know if I believe that for sure, but it's going to be by dynamic for sure. I definitely think it goes sub 1,000. And then by the time we're getting into trick-or-treating time, at least for the Mid-Atlantic, relatively fine. New York State could be dealing with rain. Same with Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. Some more interior New England. 95 looks to be clear. Some upstate snow going on in the Adirondacks and portions of, I think that's where the Adirondacks are, or over here, or that's the Berkshires. Correct me on my mountain topography if needed, but there is your upstate snow going on. So some portions of the higher elevations could be getting some snow on Halloween evening before it eventually heads out. And then this is 2 a.m. November. As we enter our November, we got a nice cold shot for the east and a kind of festive way to open up the month. We can take a look at temperatures briefly. And yeah, you can definitely see 30s, widespread 30s and 40s, even reaching all the way to almost the Gulf Coast. I mean, that is pretty deep cold air. There's your 850s. You can see that going on as well. And just to show you how dynamic the storm is, I mean, there you have it. I mean, it swings. There's all your energy leading to that severe weather. Definitely going to be very interesting. Even if it's not severe, it's going to be some heavy rain, some pretty gusty conditions. And okay, now I get it. So this is where the low will be, but it's a broad low. Okay, here's your low at 540. It starts to form as it heads. It gets stronger as it heads north and east, but it's the broad low outside. It's 546. Okay, it's a broad, stretches anywhere from the 95 to the coast all the way up into Canada. So that's what it means. That's what the National Weather Service means. So it's gonna be a broad low. If it was more consolidated, it could be more of an aggressive storm. But either way, and it's also kind of positively tilted, and then it goes negative around 4 p.m. October 30th around on the NAM. So Thursday that's when the severe weather really gets heightened further into the north and east, and then it heads out, and then you get another short wave behind it that delivers the cold blast. So I hope you enjoyed. Special note, what I did want to say is timestamps. I haven't kept timestamps in my videos, partly because I'm too lazy, but also because my editor, I've been trying to have a new editor, and it's been working pretty well. I know an editor might sound like, how does that affect timestamps? But I'm just having difficulty putting it up. And honestly, I just want to adopt a new culture where I put timestamps for more special videos. I was going to put it for my winter forecast, but never thought of it till now. So regular videos probably won't have timestamps. If it's an important video, I'll definitely put some winter forecast, live, any other fall forecast, monthly forecasts, blah blah blah. If it's a big topic with multiple topics in the video, I'll definitely put timestamps. But yeah, that's all I want to really touch on. I'll be with you guys most likely tomorrow as well. Halloween, I'll see if I upload. Maybe not 50-50. I'll let you guys know. But definitely something coming tomorrow. It might be based on this, but I mean, I kind of already explained what would happen after the storm. So it might be a breakdown of my winter forecast tomorrow. So either or, stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, share it with your friends. Anything would help. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.